All right, getting everything turned on, set up, and all that good stuff. I didn't have the video set to do the intro, which is all right. We just get to talking a little quicker, a little more faster. That's all. That's all we get to do. How's everybody doing out there tonight? We got our coffee. You get your coffee or get your tea. Miss Karen with Karen's book, she likes to have tea. So am I supposed to hold my pinky up like that? Actually, coffee's pretty good tonight. Pretty good. We do decaf in the afternoons. We talked about that before. But if you're new here, we do regular coffee in the mornings and we do decaf in the afternoons. But we have coffee morning and evening. I say we because Sanchi's here, but she'll be here in a minute. She knows we're live. I haven't been running the bird feeder in the mornings. It just takes up 2 hours of my morning, and I'm a little more busy than that. I need to be getting things done. So I haven't run it the past few days. Maybe later I'll do it again. I kind of got, I started that to help get the watch time up. And it did that. But I didn't realize, that's 2 hours I have to sit here at the computer every morning because I monitor it. And sometimes it messes up. I have to fix it and that sort of. So I can't just turn it on and walk away. So that ties up 2 hours every morning, and I need to back up a little bit. I don't need to do that much. I don't need to spend that much time sitting here at the computer. To watch, we watch a bunch of channels, or I watch a bunch of channels, and a lot of them have lives, and I'll usually chat a little bit and give them some watch time, but I very seldom sit there the whole time. Nothing against who they are, or what they're doing. It's just, I don't spend that much time sitting at the computer. That's just me. All right, y'all jump in the chat. Talk to me a little bit this afternoon. If you don't mind, hit the like button. Share with your friends. Share it on Facebook or something. Here she comes, finally.
Been busy shopping all day.
I know you've been busy. You've been gone all day.
I was only going to be gone a couple hours.
I know. I was worried you wasn't going to make it back in time. I figured you forgot.
I did forget till I got about right there at the neighborhood, and I thought, dang it.
If you had stayed a little bit longer, you wouldn't have had to do this, huh?
Good idea.
I
gotta get some sauce on my food.
Y'all can tell this is all my idea. I like doing the YouTube and all this stuff. She's not so much into it, but hey, Chris, what's happening, man? Chris is in the house. How is things in Belgium today?
I had to get something on my feet. My tootsies are cold.
Chris is in here from Belgium.
Hey, Chris. Say, good morning. And it's early, too early for him to be up.
Yeah, it's probably about 1 a.m. over in Belgium. And we appreciate you being up and hanging out with us a little bit.
So what are we talking about today?
Well, I'm really just getting started. I forgot to line up our intro video and have it play.
I don't know, I'm cold.
Okay, you had your operation yesterday. Okay, well, we hope everything went good. Sansi's going to have an operation on her toe. 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so Chris, are you currently in a medical facility in the bed, or you're home in bed? There's Miss Karen. I hope you have your tea. That's good stuff. Karen, I think, let's see, maybe the link I sent you last time, it might still work. If you wanted to come in with us, you're welcome to. The link we used the first time, it probably still works. Or if not, I can send you a link. Doesn't matter. Okay, so you're home. Good. Glad you're home. It's always more comfortable to be home. You know, I know sometimes being at the hospital or whatever facility, you know, it's nice to have the medical people around, but it's like, you know, they're
in and out all day.
Yeah, they're in and out all night. You know, as soon as you get to sleep, they come in, they want to check your blood pressure or give you a pill or whatever. You know, it's just always better to be home. In my opinion, I'd much rather be home. What you looking at? Kim? Oh, that's my phone. Yeah, to me, I would much rather be home. Karen says she always has tea when she comes in. Well, if you come on in with us in your PJs, we might pick up more viewers. Just saying. Only made little holes. Good. Did it kind of microscopic. That's always good. So hopefully you'll heal up quickly. You work the big scar. Okay. Yeah, hopefully that goes smooth and you heal up quickly. That would be good. I don't know if Mama Coop has her stuff going right now or not. Maybe she does. Maybe she don't. Chris, you hadn't been on with Mama Coop lately. I guess you've been dealing with your medical stuff. But she does her little hobbies on there and all that. Yeah, that flannel gown, that might be the thing. Watch our views go way up.
Don't be hating on the flannel.
I'm not. I'm just saying, you know. Yeah, we're at that age. We don't wear the sexy stuff anymore, do we? Okay, so she's got hers going right now. Well, you'll get back at it soon, Chris. Oh, Mama Coop's got the game night going on. Okay, I got you.
What's game night?
I've watched a couple of times. She does a game night, and somehow or other people can play along with the games.
Can you start it?
Yeah.
Well, it's not going to start over here.
I can turn the sound off. But see over here, people can try to guess it. You know, it's questions and they try to guess the answer. It's actually a good idea. You know, get watch time and participation and all that good stuff. So I was getting ready to do the stream tonight and, you know, to stay with our.
And he found out he's not prepared.
I'm not prepared.
Not at all.
I'm a little bit prepared, but you know.
No, you wouldn't.
I was trying to find a YouTube channel because that's part of what I do is somewhere, you know, we just chit chat for a little while and then we talk about an event in the news. I like to promote a YouTube channel and then we have Pet of the Week, you know, and if my intent was to give like 15 minutes to each thing and, you know, cover an hour. But what I'm finding is everything I try to look at on the internet, it gives me the most popular channels. I want to find little channels, smaller channels that need help being promoted. And it's hard to find. I wish there was a way you could refine a search in YouTube and search for channels with less than 1,000 viewers, or maybe less than 5,000, just the smaller channel. Because, I put in stuff that I'm into, like right now we're hatching out some chicken eggs. We got us an incubator and we're hatching out some chicken eggs. And I said, well, I'll find, a small creator that has something to do with chickens. So I search those topics, chickens or incubators or farms or whatever. And then everything that pops up are the huge channels that have, 300,000 followers. And, I don't want that. I want to find the smaller channels that I can help promote, just like me. I'm a small channel and somebody stumbled across us, Coop and Georgie and Skipper.
Everybody.
Skipper mainly. Skipper found me, and then he kind of introduced me to the group, and it helped. And I want to pass that along, but it's hard to find small channels. The algorithm is set up that when you search for something, it gives you the biggest ones. And I don't know how. Do y'all know something that I don't? Is there a way to search channels and find smaller channels? I can share with you some of the channels I watch, but they're usually the big channels. I see Paul is over there. I've got it up on my other screen, just kind of watching, see what they're doing. She's got 11 people watching over there, so it's not like it's a huge thing, but there again, I'm a small channel. She's a small channel. Chris, you're a small channel. It's hard to find the smaller channels to try to help promote them, because when you look for something, it just gives you the big ones, They need a suggestion box. So I could put that in the suggestion box. That, maybe when you go to search something, it could give you a list of criteria, most popular, something, some kind of deal on the algorithm, so you could kind of zero in on the smaller channels. Because I know there's a lot of people out there with small channels that's putting out good stuff. And it's a lot of work. I mean, Chris, you probably know. I say it's a lot of work. You got to put time into making this stuff. And you got to put time in doing these lives. And it's some small creators out there that I know has good content. It's just the algorithm has not worked in their favor, maybe yet. At some point, maybe it will, but I would like to promote some of those. And it's just, I don't know how to find them. If y'all know how, tell me. Or I'll say this for the few of you that are watching. If you have a small channel that you're watching that you like and you want it promoted, send it to me. I'll throw my email up there.
It's already up there.
Oh, it was up there. My bad. See, that's why I have you here. If you have I think I need to put that word out. Y'all let everybody know. All of our group and all that. If y'all are watching a small creator that you like, because I think I've done shared all of our group. I've kind of shared all of their stuff. But if you have a small creator, maybe it's a friend of yours or just somebody you stumbled upon and you like them, share that with me. Send me a link to my email. because I can't find small channels. I need y'all's help. Send me some.
Good thing I didn't want Mexican tonight.
Why did you want Mexican?
I didn't want to cook.
Oh, you talking about want to go get Mexican? Oh. We can go as soon as we're through with this.
No, I'm cooking me a thing now.
What you cooking?
That pot pie.
I thought you just had one you didn't like.
Well, I'm not going to eat that one. I'll cook the chicken one.
Another one just like it?
No.
Same brand?
No.
Oh. Yeah, Chris, send me some stuff. Karen, same with you. If you know somebody's got a small channel that we can help promote, send it to me, because I'm just having trouble finding the smaller channel. And that's who I want to promote. I don't want to help somebody that's already got 300,000 followers or 1 million followers. And since it's only a couple of 2 or 3 people in here watching, y'all will have to share this with the rest of the group.
Thank you.
Let them know what I'm wanting and give them the email. Most everybody ought to have the email anyway. What's today? Thursday?
Yeah. I didn't check the mail yet.
Take my medicine while we're live.
Maybe I'll go check the mail.
So I got me a little bitty radio. It's a little ham radio, 2 meter. This thing was like $20 on Temu. I have my ham license. And it's a local club, and they talk on 2 meter. And at 7 o'clock tonight, they're going to be doing a thing on there. So if we're still on here at 7, you might hear that going off. But I'm wanting to listen to that when they get to it. Yeah, frustration trying to find a small channel. I did come up with a channel. I'm trying to think which one it was. Karen's books, pain medication working. Oh yeah, I'm gonna share a really big channel with you tonight, but I've been watching them for several years. I just enjoy their channel. They don't need my help by any means. I need their help. Yeah, I need their help. Chris said the pain medication is working. I take medicine in the morning and in the afternoon, just for blood pressure. And more often than not, I forget to take my medicine in the afternoon. So she made me put my little pill bottle right in front of me at this desk. So I won't forget. Yeah, there are copycat channels, but there's a lot of people out there that have little YouTube channels, small channels. And for whatever reason, the algorithm just doesn't pick them up. That's who I want to help. So if y'all have some, there's my email. Send me a link, and I will promote them on our live. I thought we would have more folks tune into us since we only do this once a week.
Yeah.
But not. We got 2. And we're proud to have Karen and Chris with us tonight. Now we have over 1,000 subscribers now. You would think with that many subscribers, you would have a few more people tune in for you live. And I set this up sometime this morning. So it's been up there all day that we were going to be live tonight. Yeah.
Why do you keep doing that?
Well, I need to diabetic, thyroid, blood pressure, acid reflux, and cholesterol. I do take an acid reflux too in the morning. But mainly it's the blood pressure. I need to get another microphone. This one, the plug in where it goes.
I take cholesterol.
It's a little bit loose.
And acid. That's it.
Yep. we felt like we were pretty healthy.
I still think we are.
Yeah, but you just can't stop Father Time if you live old enough. Nothing out there. Hey, I tell you what happened. I set my cup down on my desk, and that little bump is what made them jump up and start barking.
Fake news.
But yeah, if you live long enough, you're going to end up on some kind of medication. I mean, when they found my blood pressure issue, I had no idea.
That man that was in the nail place yesterday, the daughter-in-law brought him in to get his nails cut.
Uh-oh.
She said she's afraid she'd cut him. So anyway, he come in there with his little walker, you know, and he told him, "Don't get old." Like I want to get old.
Yeah, I just.
But he said he was saying he said I'm about 90. Well, because the lady says, "Well, I'm already there." He said, "Well, I'm 90." He said, "Don't get old." I'm like, man,
it's 58. Yeah, I was. What was I? 48. I was overseas when they caught my blood pressure and put me on medication. I was about 48 when they put me on blood pressure medication, and I've been on it ever since. And the amount has been increasing steadily. So now I'm on a
I guess I was 60 when I got my cholesterol.
Pretty strong pill I'm taking twice a day, and it's still high. All right. Chris said he scared himself there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
How'd you scare yourself, Chris?
Yeah. And I know every week we have some people that come in that don't chat. They just kind of come in and watch. We're glad to have y'all too. We're glad you're here. Yeah. Karen, making it to 58 before you ever get put on any meds, that's a good thing. You know, even me at 48 when I got, I'm glad I did 48. I knew people when I was a kid that had medical issues, and they were kids. And
I'm there with you, Karen. Go ahead.
They've been on something their whole life, having to deal with some kind of medical or whatever their whole life. I'm glad I didn't have to do that.
But I am going to say, people today, the parents that put their kids on all kinds of medicines, probably for no reason.
Yeah.
Not all of them. I'm not going to say all of them, but there are a lot of them that they're looking for something, and then they end up giving them medicine for it. Probably don't need it. And it'll be like, I want to say antidepressants.
Yeah, all that kind of crazy stuff they put all.
Why is a kid?
Yeah, they put kids on that stuff now.
Yeah, and then you can't just say, "Okay, I'm gonna quit." You have to. I don't know. I've never.
Well, I think it's a push by the pharmaceutical companies. They want them putting kids on, then they got them.
Then they take them. They take them to the doctor for one thing. Next thing you know, they're. I don't know.
Yeah. Chris is talking about. I think it scared him when my computer made the noise. Sorry about that. I need to replace my microphone where the speakers plug into my microphone. It's kind of loose, and if I move anything around, sometimes it'll do that. It'll make that loud noise till I get it straightened back out. So here soon, I'm going to order me a new microphone. We'll repair that little problem. Yeah, we don't like taking pills either, Karen, but if you live long enough, you're gonna end up on some kind of pill for sure.
So sometimes I wonder, because I'm taking a cholesterol pill, my cholesterol's still up, but is it really bring your cholesterol? I mean, does it really help other than showing that the number's better? Because it's plaque buildup in your
I don't know.
veins, I think.
I don't know. I remember you talking about your child, Karen, and I thought that was a very interesting topic. Not in a judgmental kind of way, any way. Chris, you're only 58. You're the young one in the group. You're just a young fellow. Yeah, you're the young fellow in the group.
Well, you're down to one.
Well, no, we got two. Chris and Karen both. So Chris and Karen, you're both in here. I know you are because you're talking. But my thing up here says we only have one viewer. We've got 50% more than that. We've got two. I know we all feel old. It's not for the faint of heart. I heard one guy say when you get older, you still do stupid things. You just do it slower. That sounds about right. I was a quick story about age and all that stuff. Yesterday, I was cutting grass, and I've got a big place, so I was kind of on the back side of the place back there, and Sansa had just left, and I looked over and I saw a lady walking up by the house, kind of coming into my yard, and I thought it was Sansa at first. And I thought, what is she? I thought she left. She was going shopping or something, and then I could tell they were coming looking for me. So I kind of started that way. And then I thought it was my daughter. And I'm like, no, we just talked to her. She's at home 2 hours away. So she couldn't have gotten here that quick. And then I realized it was a neighbor from about 3 doors up. And when I say 3 doors up, everybody here has at least 2 acres of land. So it's, a nice little ways away. And I went up there and she said, can you come help me get, her husband had fallen and she couldn't get him up. So she had walked down here to get me. And he was working on something in his, backyard. And I said, was that where he's at? And she said, no, he drug himself to his shop. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness. So I take off up there and I get to him and, anyway, I got him up, got her up there, and we talked about it. His leg had just kind of give out on him, and he didn't know why. He couldn't really. It's like he couldn't feel his leg, and he couldn't use his right leg. So I convinced them rather quickly that she needed to take him to the hospital, and they went on to the hospital, and what he was working on, I went ahead and finished for him because it really needed to get done. But I remember him saying, he said, yeah, I'm not 60 anymore. He's 80 and he's been pretty active up until about now. Maybe over the last year we've seen him slow down a little bit, but he's 80 years old and he fell. Still not sure what happened. We thought maybe I was afraid that he had some kind of stroke. And a lot of times, a small stroke is just preceding the big stroke that's about to happen. So that's why I told y'all need to go into the hospital. I'll take care of this stuff. And but anyway, they ran some tests and ruled that part out. He didn't have a stroke. They're not sure just what happened, but anyway, when I first started coming up to this area, he was about my age, maybe just a little older. Now he's 80, and it seemed like it went quick. So I'm going to look around in a week or two, and I'm going to be 80. Just the way it works, time goes by so fast. So fast. I can remember when I was 20, had my whole life ahead of me. Now I'm at 60, looking, the time's getting short. My best times are behind me, like most of y'all. Okay, Karen, I see what you're talking about. So second son's doing the same thing. You know, I know that's hard. You know, I'll talk with you offline sometime, Karen. We'll we'll do a restream thing like this offline. We won't be online. We'll talk. How about that? I'd like to do that with you. You know, we're not gonna. You probably don't want to air that out here, but always willing to talk. There's no real quick, simple answer or whatever. That's a very complicated thing. Chris, you better not give up, buddy. Uh, we expect you to put up a fight and know that we are all behind you. We are supporting you and we're praying for you. And you know, there's strength in numbers. Strength in numbers. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about something in the news. Do y'all have anything in the news, say this past week, that y'all want to talk about? Anything that caught your eye? What's in the news right now that caught y'all's attention and is on your mind? You are a weed, so I think you're saying you have lost a lot of weight. Is that what you're trying to say, Chris? You're thin. Oh, weed always grows back. I like that. I was fixing to say if you're thin like that, you know, I don't really promote the use of it, but cannabis will increase your appetite. I think people that are uh, going through something and they've lost a lot of weight and they need to put weight on, you know, cannabis could be a help with that. Give them the munchies and let them eat everything in sight. Weed always grows back. I like that.
It's devastating news.
Well, I'm fixing to kind of talk about
don't bump me because this is hot.
a news topic, and I was just asking them if there was something in the news that that they want to talk about, anything that caught their attention.
Devastating news all over the world.
Well, you know, and it's not really what I was going to talk about tonight, but you know, you had the bombing over in Iran to shut down their nuclear program. Uh, Iran has caused problems, has been a thorn in everybody's side all over the world, not just us, and really bad over there in the Middle East. You know, a lot of their neighbors don't get along with Iran. They're pretty hard to get along with. So if they had ever gotten to be a nuclear power, it would be even worse. So I think it was a good thing to shut that down. And if they can weaken Iran to the point where they can't cause all the trouble that they've been causing, it'll smooth out the whole region over there. Just my opinion. So what devastating news are you looking at, Karen? What part are you talking about? I'm looking over at Mama Coop's thing, kind of looking at the chat, see what they're talking about.
getting there.
What's getting there?
My papa.
Oh, you pot pie. Another part of that, if you want to get into the biblical part of it, is if you start looking at end time stuff and fires.
Protest wars, floodings, fires.
Yeah. But in the end times, it talks about Israel will be attacked, but they're going to be attacked when they're at peace. And Israel has not been at peace for a long time. Maybe by shutting Iran down, that whole region might go into an era, a time of peace. It could be ushering in some of that stuff. Okay, so y'all got some military like drills going on over there right now. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I don't watch the news a lot. Where have the fires been? Have you seen anything on fires? I haven't seen.
No,
I know
haven't
Alaska
watched it.
had some, because our son's up there and he was talking about them, but they've got them. I think they've got them under control now.
I hadn't been watching the news. TV's not even on.
Yeah.
And I've been gone all day today.
And
all day yesterday.
The protest, I don't know. Hey, Georgie Porgy, glad you came in here. We are talking about things that are in the news right now. So if you've seen something in the news that
I did see that Karen.
Talk about.
And they figured they'd get him. He's going to do life.
Yeah.
He's just not going to have the death penalty.
He took a plea that took the death penalty off the table. He'll probably spend the rest of his life in prison. And
California's on fire. They're always on fire.
I almost hope he does spend the rest of his life in prison, because prison's it's got to be a miserable place to be. I would think, let him suffer for a long time in that environment.
Just sit and think about what he did.
Yeah. And, who knows, somebody like that, they might not make it very long in prison anyway. So they might get the best of both verdicts. He'll spend a good while in prison, and then somebody's going to give him make him unalive anyhow. Oh, California's got a bunch of wildfires. I have not seen
They
that.
always have fires.
I haven't really been watching the news anyway, but I don't know. 4 life sentences. Yeah. Somebody on the inside might take him out. I tell you what, somebody like that had done something to my family and they ended up going to prison. If someone in prison, unalive them, I promise you, for the rest of their time in prison, I would make sure their little account at the store had plenty of money in it so they could buy all the cigarettes they want. I'd take care of them from then on. You can't encourage it beforehand, because they kind of get you for that. But I would, if that had happened to my family and that person went to prison and somebody took him out, well, whoever took him out, I guarantee you their little money account at the store in the prison would always have $20 in it, maybe even 50. That's just, and I still don't understand what his motive was. Well, that sneeze was sneaking up on me for a few seconds. So he had, the best I could understand is he had taken some law enforcement courses or something in college, and he kind of plotted this thing out, and he thought that he could pull off he was just trying to pull off a crime like that and get away with it. He thought by the knowledge he had gained and that sort of stuff, he was just in his way, he was trying to beat the system, and it didn't work. Yeah, tell me his motive. Thank you, Georgie. That one was coming for a few seconds here. I was trying to wait and let it hit. Okay, so y'all don't celebrate the 4th. You celebrate the 11th of November. And what is that? What is that holiday called for you guys in Belgium? What's significant about the 11th of November? And Karen, please tell me the motive because I really don't know. I haven't kept up. I know he went in this apartment and he killed like 4 people or something. That's what I was trying to explain. He was trying to figure out the perfect murder and just, I guess, prove to himself that he could get away with it. He could do it, and based on his investigative knowledge, he could fix it to where they wouldn't catch him. But they caught him pretty quick. He was a little bit wrong there. Okay, so that was a weapons truce in World War II. Okay, cool. When I was over in Italy, we were over in Italy visiting our son. Now I'm an avid hunter. I hunt deer. That's really about all I hunt. But they had signs over there with these deer, everywhere, deer crossing. And I was wanting to see what a deer looked like over there in Italy. I wanted to see one. And finally, my son and daughter-in-law and us, we went hiking. And World War One. We went hiking up in the hills. There was still some trenches from World War One. They're not as deep as they used to be and all that, but it's got a little, it's got a marker there and tells all about it and everything. We hiked up there, and I actually got over into some trenches that were from World War One. But on the way up to those trenches, we did see a deer take off. So I finally got to see a deer over in Italy. But yeah, they still had remnants of the trenches. Hey, Paul, I saw Paul come in and Dennis. Hey, Dennis. I want to make sure I speak to everybody. Glad y'all with us tonight. So some of you wasn't here in the very beginning. We got to talking, and part of what I do, and those, Karen and Chris, y'all were already here, so you're gonna hear this again. So I've got my email address up on the screen, and I like to, like you guys did for me, I like to try to promote a smaller channel, and I've already pretty well promoted everybody's channel that's in our circles, and I try to find a small channel and I can't find them. Everything I search, these huge channels come up. Hey, Yankee Bell, I see somebody speaking to her in there, so she's in here too. Yep. Hey, Yankee, I see it down there now. It's hard to find the small channels. When you search something, these huge channels come out. All that comes up are the big channels. I wish there was a way we could search and put a filter in for smaller channels, but you can't. So I'm having trouble finding small channels to help promote. So if you guys have friends that have small channels, or you have small channels that you're watching, email me a link to the email that's on the screen, and I will promote them on our live. It's just hard to get to the way the algorithm works when you search stuff. It's just hard to find the small channels. So we talked about that earlier. Some of you guys missed it. Thought I'd throw that back out there. I'm not looking for anyone in particular, Georgie. There's a lot of small channels out there that I know have good content, but the algorithm has not picked them up yet. It hadn't found them yet. I think we had pretty good content, but we're not huge, and that's fine. But yeah, if you know somebody that's got a small channel that that y'all want promoted, I'll do what I can on our little channel and our little live. I think I've covered most of them. Let's see. I think I got Paul on here with all his songs. I'm looking on my other screen trying to see what all I have. I know I've seen all of Paul's songs and stuff before. You know, when I first came into this kind of group, I subscribed. I thought I subscribed to everybody. You know, I might have missed one or so. And Mismatched Minutes does the same thing. I'm going to throw this one up there. I thought I had already done it, but you know, if not, I'm going to do it right now. So there's Paul's channel, Sounds of Voss Life. All the different songs he did. Santi's pretty slick. She just gets up and walks away. She didn't say bye or anything. She just got up and walked away. I'm glad you mentioned that, Karen. She acts like we don't notice that she just kind of slipped away. But she did. All right, so I don't think I have Yankee Bell. So somebody make sure to put the link in the channel. And then here's Mismatched Menace. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to that. I think some of you are mods on my channel, so y'all can put some links in the chat of these folks' channels.
I'm going to have my dinner.
Oh, you're having your dinner. Show them what you have.
A pot pie.
You don't know where they can see. She's having a pot pie for dinner. See if I can do it that way. Is that better? Or let's go that way. It didn't even put me in there, did it? It's supposed to have me on the screen. What about this way? There we go. Sweet Yankee Bell. You know I'm going to have to go search for that. Let me see if I can find it. Sweet K-E-B-E-L-L-E. And yeah. Let's see what we come up with. Sweet Yankee Bell right there. Okay, there's Miss Yankee Bells. And you're watching live as my little finger hits the subscribe button. So you just got another one, Yankee Bell. Sorry, I wasn't already there. I thought I had everybody. She's been looking at that cruise stuff now. I'll have to get her in here to talk about the cruise thing. So if you guys are not in on it or know about that's not the right. That's not the right term. Let me get my lips to work right. This started out, Skipper was trying to put together a veterans cruise, but I think it's morphed into just a cruise. anybody that wants to go, all the folks here and such. So she's been looking. And some people were wanting to go they wanted to go to Jamaica. Some people want to go to the Bahamas. So, but you can't do both. You either go to this way or you go that way. You don't, none of them hit both. So she's kind of looking at all of it, trying to figure out, what will make it. Well, she's trying to come up with several things, so then we can all look at it and talk about it and all that. But anyway, if anybody's interested, we'll sure, count you in there. Georgie, what we need to do, what? Yeah, we're looking at February. She'll be in here in a minute. She can talk more about it. She's the expert on that. I don't want to say something wrong. But anyway, Georgie, probably what we should do is get the kind of the key players that's in this planning process, and let's do a restream offline. So we all just kind of almost like a Zoom meeting and talk things out, me and you, or Santi and you, and Skipper and whoever else is trying to kind of head this thing up, 4 or 5 of us, and just do a kind of like a Zoom call, and let's just air everything out. What's everybody wanting to do? It's hard to type in an email to somebody because there's so many things. It's kind of a complicated issue right now until we get it narrowed down to a certain time, a certain ship, certain port, as we rule out some of these other things. It's just hard to send an email with all the options that are out there right now. So let's just get together on a Zoom call. We can use Restream. So, you or Skipper can put it together. We'll be glad to come in on it. Y'all come in on it. Doesn't have to be live. We'll just do it offline, and let's talk about it. If you think that's a thing to do, just say yeah, and we'll try to make that happen. So Sansi went shopping today, and she got back right before I went live. She hadn't eaten all day, so she's in there enjoying a delicious pot pie. Now, that's almost like the TV dinners. Y'all remember the first TV dinners that come out? There wasn't much to them. Do they still have? I know they still have similar things, but do they still have the actual TV dinner, the brand or whatever? I know the package has probably changed, but I don't know. Hey, Mama Coop. I see you had some games going on tonight. Who was the big winner tonight, Mama Coop? Tell us the truth. Who was the smart one of the bunch that knew most of the answers? All right, so I'm going to back up. I'm kind of bouncing back and forth. So we had started. So Dennis says the older TV dinners were a lot better tasting than they are now. So they still have. Do they still have that brand? I know there's some.
Banquet, yes.
Was it Banquet that made those? Banquet made, and they still make something similar. Seemed like back then they came in like this aluminum shape, pan, the little plate thing that came in was made out of aluminum, and it had the clear piece on top of it, and you'd put that in the oven. And it was a big deal. I remember they had a lot of commercials about those. I don't know. I haven't had anything like that in a long time. I got a good woman that cooks. Don't need a TV dinner. I probably wouldn't like it. She's a very good cook, and not just me. We eat well. I don't know that we could eat a TV dinner. What's something else, say, from the, I don't know, let's say 70s. What's something else from the 70s that y'all remember that's no longer around, or maybe you no longer fool with. I'm trying to think of one myself, similar to TV dinner. I remember in the 70s they used to have cigarette commercials. They finally banned all that. And actually, even before my time, I'm going to say in the 50s, 40s and 50s, they even promoted cigarettes as a health benefit. They were good for you. Oh yeah, we didn't have remote control. We were the remote control. I take it further than that. We could pick up two channels with the antenna, and there was a third channel we could pick up, but you had to turn the antenna. And we didn't have one of those little motors on ours that you could turn and make it turn. One of us kids had to go outside and physically twist on the pole and make it turn while, like dad or somebody was inside saying, a little bit more, a little bit more. That's it. Go back a little bit. So I'm glad those days are gone. But we found things to watch on 3 channels. Now we got hundreds of channels. I'll go sit in there and can't find anything worth watching. First black and white TV. I don't remember the first black and white TV. I don't really remember our first color TV. I know we got one, when I was young. Probably grade school, late grade school, 5th, 6th grade, probably somewhere in that time frame, we got our first color TV. I don't remember it. It was not an event that I remember. Now, Tatsi, it was an event at their house. She remembers the day they got the first color TV and all that. I know we transitioned from black and white to color when I was somewhere in that age, but I don't remember it necessarily being an event in our house. Oh yeah, you had to have the telephone on the wall, a little flat telephone on the wall in the kitchen that had the long cord, because the phone was head high and the cord would go all the way to the floor. Yeah, do you remember party lines, Karen? I remember the party lines. The phone would ring. We'd jump to go get it, and you hear your mother from 2 rooms over yell, "That's not our ring. Don't answer that." Slider for cable TV channel select. I don't remember that, Dennis. Oh, is that where channels the term channel surfing came from? I didn't realize that. Yeah, you're right. It'd be a pile of bicycles in the front yard, and you knew that's where everybody was at. And I was kind of in the country, uh, but it was a neighborhood, but it wasn't in town. We were in the suburbs, and we would get on our bikes and leave in the morning, and we might not come home till dark. We'd be gone all day. It was a different world back then, though. I guess there was problems, but we didn't see it. And I think it was a safer time. People can't let their kids go like that anymore. But me and my friends, we'd stay gone all day. We didn't have to worry too much about somebody. Normally we had a gun with us of some sort. It might have just been a pellet gun or a 22 rifle, but we would go hunt and all that kind of stuff. But normally, as a group, somebody in the group had some kind of weapon, you know, that we could use. Somebody tried to do something to it, we could fight back. Now I'm going to have to look up this slider. I don't remember that. Oh, I see it now. All right, let me share this. Some of you probably, I don't remember these boxes. So this is what you're talking about here. Let me see if I can make that any bigger. No, I can't. So there's the slider there, and you would slide back and forth to pick up different cable channels. I don't recall us ever having it. As a matter of fact, I've never even seen this. Interesting. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about right there, right, Dennis? I've never even seen it, never even heard of that. But I was not from the most affluent family. It might have came out and we wasn't able to afford it. I don't know. A slider box where it had a slider on it to go between cable channels. Hero said he's never seen it. White with a wood grain sticker on top. Yeah, that one I was looking at is kind of a beige with a wood grain sticker on top. I've never heard that. So on the old TV, let me ask this: on the old TVs, you had your channels, and then you had UHF channels. It usually had higher numbers on it. Was anybody ever able to pick up anything on those UHF channels? I don't recall ever being able to pick up anything. Well, what would Rich have to do with it? she said rich people maybe. I don't know what rich people would have to do with it. Boy, MTV was that was an upsetting event for me when MTV came out. Not that I enjoyed the music, but prior to MTV, you had a picture in your mind of what these people look like when you listen to, your favorite songs on the radio and stuff. You just kind of had this mental image of, but when MTV come out and you saw what they actually looked like, man, that was a letdown. I mean, these people, they were nothing like what I had pictured in my mind. No, I'm just being funny, Dennis. On that box, we were far enough out. I'm trying to think. We were far enough out. We didn't have cable for a long time, and I think by the time we got cable, where we were at, it was already past the use of this box. It had already advanced a little more, and that box was no longer in play. That would be my guess, because a lot of people in town, they had cable years before we did. When it finally made it out to us, by that time these boxes were probably no longer in use, and that's probably why I don't remember it. Just my guess. I don't know. Oh, back to the news. I didn't even get to what I was talking about and what got my attention in the news this time. I guess what got my attention in the news this week was the new not prison, but the detainee center they got down there in Florida with the water and stuff all around it. That I think I got a picture of it. Let me see. Did y'all see that? Oh yeah, I got a picture of it. Let me share this real quick. So there's the place in Florida. Alligator Alcatraz is what they're calling it. But look at the water. You know, they built like a moat around it. And they've even put an airstrip in. You see that going right there. So it looks like it was tailor-made for what they have going on right now. But also, if you look at it, you don't build something like that overnight. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the facility was built kind of quick, but you know, an airport, it takes a little while to build something like that. So this has been in the making for quite some time. I don't think they started on this after Trump got elected. They had to start building this a couple of years ago. In my opinion, I just don't think they built all of this since he was elected. So maybe when he was running, you know, maybe he got with the governor of Florida and said, "Hey, this is what we're going to have. This is what we're going to do." Okay, so the airstrip was already there. Is that what you're saying, Yankee Bell? That makes sense because you don't just build an airstrip overnight, especially in the swamp. So the airstrip was already there. Environmental concern. Oh, okay. Now I'm starting. I see, said the blind man. Yeah, okay. So the airstrip was already there. It was originally intended to be the Everglades Jetport. Never environmental concerns. So why were they building that in the middle of the Everglades? What was its purpose? The airstrip, I mean. So obviously there was some. You're saying there was some more stuff that was going to be built with it, but it kind of got nixed because of environmental concerns. You know, another thing that I heard them say when they were interviewing different ones that are in charge now, you know, one of them said that if you're illegal and you come through this facility, you forfeit the opportunity to get to come back to the United States. It's kind of what they're saying now. The people that are here illegally, if they self-deport, you know, then they're welcome to try to come back in the legal way. But if they don't and they pick them up and they run them through this facility and they send them home, then they forfeit the right to get to try to come back to the United States. Okay, so this is that airstrip been there since the 60s? Is that what you're saying, Dennis? So the airstrip was put there. What about the ground that facility's on? All of this area right here. Was that ground already there? They just had to go in and build on it? Or did they have to, you know, bring dirt in and build that up to be able to build this facility? Interesting. Well, evidently I haven't watched enough in the news. I mean, I knew it was there and I was looking at this aerial photo and just trying to think, you know, they didn't build that that quick, but that makes sense if the airstrip was already there. But it's perfect because most of these people, they're having to fly them out to other countries, sending them back home. So having an airstrip right there at your disposal, that's pretty cool. And all the people that want to protest it, they're going to have a hard time getting out there to protest. So everything was there but the tent. So the ground was already there. Okay, well, they could probably build, that stuff. Yeah, I mean, you still see dirt. So, yeah, all that stuff's probably new. And they've probably thrown that up since he took office. Makes sense. Very interesting. I kind of like it. And are there probably some hardworking people that are here, they just wanted to make a better life for themselves? Yes, they probably are. Do I feel for them? I do feel sorry for them if they have to go back home. But, our law is our law, and they broke the law coming in here. It's a consequence you have to pay. You get sent back home. There's a right way to come in the country, and that's the way it needs to be done. Yep. And for those that say, well, we're deporting all these people that's doing all that, well, we can increase the numbers that we're letting in the country. We can, they're lined up waiting to get in. We can fill that void. So that was the one thing in the news that I saw this week that caught my eye. Is that a really big pot pie you're eating, or are you stalling?
No, I'm coming. I just got fruit.
Whatever. Yeah, I think, Yankee Bell, I think you're right. I think they're going after the most violent ones and all that stuff. But, if you have let's say you have a criminal that's in a household, there might be 10 people in that household, and you got one bad egg. They go in to get that bad egg. Well, if they realize the other 9 are here illegally, well, they're collateral damage. They get picked up too. I don't want to sound like I don't have a heart. I have a heart. People here trying to do better and all that. I understand. I got it. And I hate you're having to go back home. But when you get down to the absolute bottom line, the bottom line is you broke our laws to get into this country. And for that reason, we're going to send you home. But it sounds like a lot of people are leaving on their own, and they're going to try to do the process the proper way and come back. And maybe I'm not against, let's say somebody's been here 15 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I don't care how long. And they have not caused any trouble, and they've been holding down a job, and they've done everything right other than the fact they came here illegally. I don't have a problem putting them at the front of the line to come back in. If they self-deport and come back and they can prove that they lived here and they were productive and they didn't cause any trouble, I got no problem putting them to the front of the line, bringing them back in the proper way, reuniting them with their families here, and let's move on. I got no problem with that. Yeah, that'd be good if the other 9 don't have to go there. Yeah, I wasn't saying the other 9 would go to this facility, but they do get kind of caught up in the net, and they're going to be sent back home. And there again, if you got a guy, I don't know, any profession, but say you got a guy that's been here 15 years, and he's got a couple of kids, and he's been a painter, and he's never caused any trouble, all this junk, he's a hard worker. He self-deports. When he comes back to a point of entry and tries to come back, and he can show that he's been here and he's got family here and he's got a job here, and all that. I've got no problem with fast tracking that person right back into the country, send them to their family, and let him start the process of becoming a citizen and doing it the legal way. No issue with that whatsoever. But that's just me. Does he have to leave and come back and do it the right way? Absolutely. But can we, if it's a good person, they haven't caused any trouble, I don't care where they're from, what nationality, any of that junk. If they've been here and they've not caused any trouble and they've worked hard and all that, let's fast track them some way. Let's get them back in and get them back to their family and make everything legal. That's just me. What do y'all think? There's some hardliners out there that say, I don't care, whatever. When they leave, they shouldn't get to come back because they broke the law. I hadn't been in their shoes. I don't know what they were leaving. Don't know. But
It was pretty good.
the second one was better than the first one.
But that first one is still in there. It was nasty. I couldn't do it.
Okay. Here she is.
Hey, everybody. I'm freezing.
I'm sweating.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, just do things the right way. But, there again, the ones that were breaking our law and troublemakers, they shouldn't get to come back. But if somebody gets picked up that's been here a long time and they've been good people and they've got a job and all that good stuff, I got no problem with fast tracking them right back into the country, the legal way. Some people say, well, that's not fair to the ones that, there's no perfect answer for this problem. I don't think. You have to do what you can.
Catch them coming across, set them back across.
Yankee Bell said, hey, I reckon she's talking to you.
I said, hey.
Since you've been hiding.
What? I was eating. I'm not going to sit here and eat in front of everybody. Sorry.
Okay, so Hero says they have a lot of transit immigrants wanting to go to England. So they're passing through Belgium. Where are they coming from? What are they running from? Why do they want to go to England? Tell us what's going on there, Chris. Hey, Georgie, if you got cruise questions, now's the time to answer. She can answer the cruise questions.
Okay, you have to know. We said February, or somebody said February. Which cruise line? So which cruise line? How many days? Let's see, Southern cruise, Western's going to be over in be like Cozumel, Belize, Roatan, or Cozumel. Yes, 7 day. Any particular day in February? Well, we have to look and see when the 7 days are. February.
All right, so everybody agreed on February. So now we got to talk about which cruise line.
Cruise line.
You're looking at different cruise lines and different ships go to different ports. So we got to say which ports we want to go to and which cruise line we want to.
If you want to do Carnival, I would suggest Port Canaveral. Let's go to Mexico area. Okay.
Okay, you got to watch when you're looking at the cheapest room, George. Tell her about the cheapest room.
Okay, the room you was talking about last night when you found the one you found. It's on deck 1, which would be on the very bottom floor, which isn't bad. I mean, we've stayed on, I think, every deck except for Lido.
Yeah.
But the room you were looking at for that price was a upper lower.
Explain what that is.
I was fixing to.
Oh.
Upper lower means there could be an upper bunk and a lower bunk. That's what that is.
Yeah, that's a bunk room. It's got an upper bunk, lower bunk.
Right. It's the smallest room they have, and then the beds are kind of, stacked. You got an upper bunk and a lower bunk.
Yeah.
The inside cabins have 2 single beds that, like we go, so we have them put them together to make a king bed.
Yeah. So
you don't have to have it put together.
You probably wouldn't want to do that upper and lower bunk thing. So you need to step up. It's just a little bit more to get a regular interior room.
Right.
But your interior room on the lower decks is going to be your most economically priced.
Here until recently, we've always did the inside cabins. Inside cabins is fine. Sometimes the cheapest, least expensive, whatever, is if you let them choose.
Yeah.
When you let them choose, you could be
right below the gym.
Yeah, it could be anywhere. I've let them choose sometimes on mine. I've let them choose and right. So just the inside cabin is going to be the least expensive.
Yeah, just the inside cabin.
Even if it's on a lower deck, that's fine.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the lower decks.
We had them choose our room once, and they put us on deck 2, I think. It was fine.
Nothing wrong with that.
Actually, it was a good room.
Yeah,
that was kind of bigger room.
Corner room, yeah. Nothing wrong with that. And we used to do interior rooms almost exclusively until COVID. Once COVID hit, when that hit and people were getting sick, they locked everybody in their rooms. If you got sick, you got locked in your room. They would bring you meals, trying to keep it from being spread to other passengers. So since that started, now that's kind of.
We still get inside rooms.
Yeah, that's kind of gone away, but I still worry about it. So we pay the extra money and we get a balcony room. So if some kind of event happens and people kind of get locked in their room, at least we'll have a balcony we can go out on and get some air, get some fresh air. Now, that happened on a couple of ships during the COVID, and they didn't lock everybody. Let me rephrase that. They didn't lock everybody in. What they did is someone got sick
they made them stay in their
COVID.
Cabin.
They sent them to their room and made them stay in their cabin to try to keep them from spreading that all over the ship. But that's kind of gone away now. The likelihood of something like that happening is really slim. So we're almost back to the point where we're comfortable with getting inside rooms again.
Yeah, we've been getting inside rooms, and then sometimes we get here lately. We've gotten balcony.
We've been doing balconies lately.
Balcony coming up and a balcony going. I was going to get a balcony in Alaska.
Yeah, sure. We got to have a balcony in Alaska because we're there for the scenery.
Right. Let's see. What else was I going to say?
Did you hear me talking about suggesting like a Zoom call? We could do it on Restream, but
so if we do Carnival, I'm not sure how I know you can do group cruises. Tampa Port would be preferred. Okay.
Preferable for everybody. Yeah, that's something we need to talk about. I'm not even sure where Tampa's at.
Tampa's over there by where Teresa and.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Doesn't really matter to us.
We do that, then I'll just book a Margaritaville.
Is that where Margaritaville's at? Okay, yeah.
Or we could do we can try to do Margaritaville. Have you got a cruise line in mind? Have y'all discussed that anywhere? I hadn't looked at my messages. if there's any.
I don't think there were any in there.
I know Brett was say I don't know how to take what he said. If it was okay. I thought he was on the other side.
I don't know.
I know. I'm telling her. I thought he was on the other side.
Yeah, y'all talking cruising. I'm gonna go get some more coffee.
I thought he was over there close to Port Canaveral, actually. But anyway. Lost my shoe. Crap. My foot's cold. Right. First we were going to do Margaritaville because it was going to be a veteran cruise, free cruise for the veterans. But when I called to check on it, you have to go through GovX, and you have to. They have only certain cruises they use for their free cruises, and so many rooms. And if they don't have enough rooms, just say if there's we need 8 rooms, and they only have 2 rooms for the free cruise, it would only be for whoever got it first.
So, Georgie, we want to explain something real quick about the cost and the commission and all that stuff as far as using an agent. You can do it straight through the cruise line, or you can use an agent. The price is going to be the same. So the agent's fee is built in. If you go through the cruise line, one of their agents gets the little agent commission on it. And usually
It's not much.
$50 per cruise. I mean, it's not much. So some people think, well, if I go through the cruise line, I can get a better price because I take the agent out of the picture, and that's not true. It's going to be the same price either way. The thing about using an agent, like if you use Sansa, she knows to look at a room and say, is this below a kitchen? Is this below the gym? Is this next to, an area that was going to have a band playing? I mean, we know because we cruise so much, but she specifically knows as an agent, she knows what to look for. Those little things that we've learned by cruising, she uses that knowledge to help you get the best you can get to make your cruise more enjoyable. But the notion of, well, if I go through the cruise line, I get it cheaper, that's not true. It's the same price either way. One of their agents is going to get that commission. So
have you ever cruised, Georgie?
Take that for what it's worth.
Well, if we do a group cruise and I set the group up, to be in the group has to go through me.
Right.
And that's what I need to, I just got to find out which cruise line, because they all do groups. Well.
Ooh, that's a hard question to answer, Georgie. Tell her why.
Well, it all depends. Which cruise line again? What time of the year? Which February is usually the cheaper month. We always cruise in February. Birthdays.
Well, here's the thing. If
on a ship.
If you look at the price of the cruise and it's got your port fees and taxes included, that's really all you have to spend. You don't have to spend another penny. But that,
Well, then you have your gratuities, which depends on the length of the trip. If it's a 7-day, it's $112 a person.
Is that not did I not say taxes? You got port fees, taxes, and gratuities that's put in there. But anyhow, the actual cost of the cruise, you can stop right there. But if you're planning on doing excursions, those are they cost. They're kind of expensive, to go swim with the dolphins or whatever, go see some Mayan ruins. That's extra money you had to spend. You don't have to do those things. If you want to go to the casino and on the ship, then that's going to cost extra money if you're a gambler. They have specialty restaurants that you have to pay to do. That's extra if you want to do something. But you don't have to. There's food everywhere.
There's the dining room.
The dining room is fancy enough for me.
Every night in the dining room.
Yeah.
Or on Lido.
We don't spend a whole lot of extra anymore because we've been doing it long enough. We've seen all the things we want to see. We're not gamblers. We might go spend $20 in the casino,
and it depends on how much you drink. If you're a drinker,
we're not drinkers.
But you can buy a soda package.
They got a soda package and a liquor package. They're both a little bit pricey, but can you do without internet? Internet's something else you have to pay extra for. We unplugged for that week. We turned everything off. And we don't bother with internet. Sometimes at the ports we go to, a restaurant or something might have internet. We'll take our phone with us, and maybe while we're in port, we'll get on the internet for a few minutes. Just kind of.
I know in Cozumel I paid $5. I had to play my game.
But it's hard to answer that question. How much do you need to say? We don't know. It just.
Well, if you're a light drinker, maybe one a day. If you drink, I don't know if you do or not. If you're a light drinker, one, maybe two a day. Yeah. You would need to get the package. If you're a heavy drinker and want to drink, that's 15 drinks a day.
That buys you 15 drinks a day.
And it's on a 7-day cruise is up around about $1,000 to $1,100 because if one gets it in the room, the second has to get it in the room.
Well, Georgie, on the internet, like I say, when you get to a port, say Cozumel, you can get off and there's restaurants out there, that you can sit down at, and they'll let you get on their internet. So usually on a port day in port, you can get on the internet for a few minutes somewhere and check on the kids back home. Or if you feel like you need to check on them every day, then, buy the internet package.
And they have 3 different packages.
It's 3 different plans on that, but that's another expense. No drinks. That's my girl.
So
no sense,
So you can buy the soda package or everybody's allowed to take a 12-pack of 12 ounce.
Well, that's on Carnival.
That's on Carnival. Now,
we don't know about
I'm assuming.
And normally, sometimes you have onboard credits. Sometimes. We usually have some kind of onboard credits, and we use that. We might have $100 worth of onboard credits. So we might have 2 or 3 drinks during the whole week, maybe have 3 drinks. We got enough on.
They also sell them without the liquor, so
that covers that. So we don't spend very much more than what the cruise cost us because we're not doing excursions anymore. We don't drink. We don't spend much in the casino. So what the cruise price is pretty close to what we spend. But you can get on there and spend a lot of money. We don't do the specialty restaurants very often. Every now and then we'll go to one and we pay for that.
Well, because we have the free one on this one.
Okay. We're just talking spending money. Every now and then we just say, they got a steakhouse and it's pretty good, and it's priced about $50 a person, isn't it? Something like that. So we don't do that very often, but every now and then, we're going to cruise. We'll do the steakhouse on this one.
It depends on if we have people with us that want to do it.
Yeah.
But when it was just the 2 of us, we don't go into
So there's your answer. You can get by with just the cost of the cruise, but you got to just decide what all do we want to do while we're on this cruise, because everything you want to do is going to cost more money.
So if you want to do, if everybody's wanting to do the Margaritaville ship, I can look at getting a group thing together and then get prices on that. I don't want to call a bunch of different lines and get one. I don't know where we're going. I mean, how many? At least I cruised from Belgium to. Chris, I have cruised past hurricanes several times, and
we were only on one ship where it got really rough that I can remember.
Well, me and Jenny got on that ship, and we went around Isaac, that hurricane. That was the one that come up into the States and turn around and come back out, and that's flooded our houses.
Most places we go to, Georgie, does have a beach that you can go to for free within walking distance of the port. Not all, but most. So when we get settled in on what cruise we're talking about and where it's going, we can look into that. But most of them,
I can tell you this. It's ones we're fixing to do. Amber Cove is in the Dominican Republic. It's not a beach. It's like a pool with the lazy river.
Yeah.
They have beaches too. I mean, they do, and they got shopping. And that's free unless you get the umbrella, and they're going to charge you for that.
Every port we go to has a big shopping area.
And then we're going to Grand Turk. Grand Turk has a beach, and they have Margaritaville right there at the beach. The pool is free at the Margaritaville, and then the beach is free. Of course, you can rent chairs. I just threw my towel on the ground. I was going to try to hold up a picture of Grand Turk.
We've gotten to where when we get to a port, we get off the ship and we go walk around, and the immediate area is normally shopping and that sort of. We go walk around to look at all the shops and vendors and all that stuff, and then we get back on the ship pretty early.
Because then you're there by yourself.
Yeah, then the ship, everybody's off the ship. There's just the ship is sort of empty and everything is at your access, and we enjoy the peace and quiet on the ship while everybody's out in the port. We put our feet on solid ground for a little while.
Just to get off the ship.
Just get off the ship for a few minutes, and then we get back on. That's what we do now.
Okay. This is 2 ships that are Carnival.
Can you make that bigger?
One ship. They have both of these ships, I think, in Port Canaveral. One is Glory and one is Mardi Gras. I don't know if I could hold it up. Let you see the different sizes.
Yeah, the Mardi Gras is the bigger one.
The one we're going on is the Mardi Gras. We've been on the Glory.
If you've never been on a cruise, ship size does not matter.
Does not matter.
People that cruise a lot, they say, well, you're going on a smaller ship. Trust me, if you've never been on a cruise, the small ships are big.
We went on the smallest ship they had.
And I thought it was big.
Everybody kept saying, oh, that's a little bitty ship. You're not going to like it. We got on that ship. I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about. This is a big ship. It's bigger than my bass boat.
It was very nice, though.
Yeah, it was a nice ship.
Actually, we went on it after other cruises. We wanted to go back on it because we liked it.
So Georgie says being on a beach in the Bahamas is on her bucket list. So we're going to the Bahamas.
We're going to Celebration Key. That's in the Bahamas.
Now that's an island that's owned by Carnival, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Their
own private island.
They're fixing to open it up.
Yeah, it's just now opening up.
So no, I've not been there.
We'll be one of the first ones to get to go there.
Okay. This is the beach at Grand Turk. If you can see that.
Yeah, we're actually on the beach and took that picture.
It's right there at the ship. You don't even have to go very far.
Yep. So there's one of your free beaches right there.
But that's in Grand Turk.
Most places they go does have a beach that's available for free.
But you have to.
Now, if you want one of them big umbrellas to sit under, they're going to charge you to use that umbrella. But
And this is at Amber Cove. This is the little water thing I was telling you about. It's free. It's Lazy River. Just go hang out in the water. That's where we're going this time again.
so you'll enjoy it wherever we go. But money-wise, just figure what it's going to cost for the cruise, and then you budget however much you want for spending money.
You can look when we figure out what ports and what cruise. I tell you how much it is, and then the ports you can look, see if there's anything you want to do. If it's going to be beaches there, they all have beaches, but you might have to go.
Some people want to go swim with the dolphins or hold a monkey or see some Mayan ruins
but the beaches,
but all that stuff
sometimes you have to taxi over to a beach
on a few of them, yeah,
and then they charge you to get in, which isn't but like $7 or $8.
Yeah. Well, most of these ships are so big.
Once you get on it, you won't even realize you're on a ship.
You won't even realize you're on a ship. It's almost like be walking around in a mall. Unless the seas get rough, and then they'll just make you walk a little funny.
Bounce off the walls. People
look like they're drunk and they hadn't been drinking. But we enjoy cruising. We do it a lot.
A whole lot.
Georgie, let's get with Skipper and whoever else, and let's plan a phone call. Let's get everybody on screen and talk about things. Decide, kind of start narrowing things down. You really got to start booking these things.
Yeah, because
way out because they fill up.
What do we pack? Once we get the cruise done, I'll tell you what you need to pack.
Yeah. We try to pack light because we like to self-assist coming off the ship. And that means you take your own bags with you. You don't have to do that, but that's just the way we like to get off the ship when we get back.
Once we're ready to go. There's a couple little things that I've learned we take our clock because there's no clocks.
Yeah, we take a projection clock, projects the time up on the ceiling. So in the middle of the night, we can tell, because if you get an interior room, it is pitch black in there. Even in the middle of the day, you walk in there and turn the light off, it's pitch black. And no clock in there. We just like to take a clock so we know what time it is.
Clothes are optional. Just kidding.
No.
Just kidding.
They're not optional. You got to have them. We don't mind the questions. We've cruised a lot. We've learned a lot, and we don't mind sharing what we know.
I've learned to take, because I use the little loofahs in the shower. I take me a command hook in that strip, stick it on the wall, and then I because I don't like it to fall in the bottom of the shower. That's just nasty to me. I keep it out of the way. It's hanging out of my way. when I get through, clothes is a given.
She takes her own shower stuff, soap and that sort of stuff. The ship provides
Well,
liquid soap and shampoo.
we know
Well,
Carnival.
Carnival does.
Carnival
So
does.
I don't pack any of mine. I just use what the ship provides. But she likes to take hers. So that's a personal preference on your part.
And I take a little bottle of hand soap.
Yeah.
They have bar soap, but I don't know why I like the hand soap.
You really don't even need to try to sneak liquor on. They done got pretty good at catching folks, and they take it away and pour it out. So I wouldn't even bother.
Well, nobody said something about sneaking liquor on.
I know. I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, I do know on Carnival, if you want it, they allow each person to bring a bottle of wine or champagne and a 12-pack of soda or anything in a can.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be bottles. It can't be beer. Non-alcoholic. That's
they can bring non-alcoholic beer.
No.
Yeah, you see some people that bring drinks. We don't bother. I don't want to carry all that stuff around.
I'm gonna take some champagne this time.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I got me a strawberry soda. I'm just gonna see what it tastes like.
All right. Well, there you go. So as we keep getting closer and closer and figuring this thing out, ask all the questions you want.
Yes, you can bring a 12-pack, and your mom can bring a 12-pack. Now that's on Carnival. Have to check on whichever ship we decide. We'll have to check to see what their rule is.
Yeah, we pretty well know Carnival's rules because we cruise them almost exclusively.
Like 47 times.
So we can pretty well, with certainty, answer your questions about Carnival.
Bring your coffee.
What kind of coffee? You talking about to make your own coffee? No, they won't let you bring a coffee maker. So without a coffee maker, I don't know.
Unless it's instant in a jar.
Yeah, maybe some instant coffee.
I don't know what kind of coffee.
Are you talking about some? Don't they have coffee in a can, like a soda can? Like
I don't know.
Clarify what you're talking about, Georgia, when you say coffee.
They have coffee.
Yeah, they got coffee available 24 hours a day. Well, pretty close to it.
Well, don't know about an expert, but
you got coffee available, you got juice available,
and tea
available almost.
It's lemonade
all the time.
We're talking lemonade. Carnival now.
Yeah, we're talking Carnival. Yeah,
lemonade, tea, and water, coffee all day long. And then in the morning you got orange juice, coffee pods.
What are you going to use them in?
You have to have
somehow there's nothing to use them in. So no, don't bring the coffee pods. Now their coffee's kind of strong, I think.
MSC was not. I drank that coffee.
MSC had pretty good coffee.
I'm taking.
Yes,
some
coffee's
creamer.
included.
I'm taking some creamer and we'll try coffee on the ship.
Okay. Yeah, coffee's included. It's available pretty much all the time.
Regular coffee, not the
tea's available all the time. I used to do a mixture of tea and lemonade, so I make it like a lemon tea.
I like lemonade and I like tea, but not together.
Ice cream used to be available 24 hours a day, but now it's they started at about
10 to 1 or 2 or something like that.
They started about 10 o'clock during the day, and they turn them off around 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that. So there's a few hours during the night that it's not there.
Yeah, I just bought a thing of creamer. I hope they let me get it on.
Well, yeah, we've never tried. Well, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't let her take
powder.
it
I am taking my own A1. Not A1, not A1.
No. They got
Heinz 57.
Yeah, Carnival has A1 steak sauce, and we like Heinz 57. So we take a small bottle of Heinz 57 because we will eat a steak I eat a steak most nights.
They have steaks. Well,
you can't have the steak
again.
every night on Carnival in the dining room. We go to the dining room, and if I look at their menu for the night and there's nothing on there that really I want, then I just get a steak because the steak is available every night. So we take some Heinz 57 with us because we prefer that.
And then I left it. I left it at breakfast.
Yeah.
That was on the last day, though. The next to last day.
Right. The dining room is it's sort of like a 5-star restaurant. They come around and they take your order for your appetizer. No, they take all the orders at once. Your appetizer, your meal, and your dessert.
They come around get your drinks.
They get your drinks and they bring rolls or bread. And then they get your order, and then they bring the appetizer. When everybody's through the appetizer, they'll pick that up and bring the main menu, the main course. And through that, they pick that up, and then they bring everybody dessert. So it's a nice dining
dessert
experience.
And coffee if you want coffee.
And it's included. We met a couple one time. It was towards the end of the cruise. It was a young couple. They had not been in the dining room because they thought they had to pay extra for that. We're like, no, that's part of it.
So we told them come sit with us.
So we go to the dining room every evening. You don't have to. You can go to a deck where it's like a buffet style and you just do it that way. But we enjoy going to sit down and
they have pretty much the same food.
Yeah.
It's not the same though.
We just enjoy the dinner experience. Go sit down and have dinner. But you don't have to. If you want to hang out by the pool and run in and get something off the buffet, you can do that. Lots of options.
One little tip. If they say, let me see your card.
Yeah, they fixing to charge you for something.
Is whatever you're doing is not free.
Yeah, so the way it works, they give you a card, and that card gets you into your room. It's your key for your room, and they call it sale and sign card. So everything that you do is done through that card. So if you order a drink and they ask for your card, they're fixing to charge you on your card, which charges your room, which is tied to
a credit card or cash. You can put
cash. You can put cash down, and but.
And when you run out of cash, they'll cut your card off and tell you need to go refill.
Yeah.
And bring more cash.
If they're walking around with drinks on a tray and they're trying to give drinks out, they're charging for those drinks. So it ain't like what was that TV show?
I don't know. We saw people get on that ship and they come around with the drinks and they grab one, and then they found out it was going to cost and they put them back.
Yeah. Yeah, I think people get on there and they walk around. They think those drinks are free, but they're not. So if you're doing something and they ask for your sale and sign card, you're about to get charged for something. I don't know about all cards. We use either Visa or MasterCard, right? I think.
Oh.
I don't know. If you have a
MasterCard. MasterCard.
If you have a specific type card that's not Visa or MasterCard, and you're wanting to know about that, just get with Sanse offline. She'll look into it for you. But yeah, there's a card, attached to your room, and that sale and sign card is attached to your room. So
Visa's fine.
Yeah, Visa's fine. Just a little thing we want you to know: if they ask for that sale and sign card, you have to pay for whatever you're doing extra.
I know on Carnival they'll do steakhouse items on the menu, but it has prices.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
They have, as I know somebody that didn't pay attention and they ordered the steak and lobster
Yeah, from the
and then
steakhouse.
couldn't understand why they were charged. I'm like, well, it's off the steakhouse menu.
Oh, you need to tell them that they do have formal nights.
Yeah. Formal nights.
Formal nights. Not everybody. It's optional. Used to most everybody would do it, but it's getting less and less. But anyway, formal night, everybody dresses up in their nice suits and all that stuff, and you go to dinner. But on formal nights, they'll have the photographer set up everywhere. So while you're dressed up, you can, take your pictures and everything. Usually a 7-day has 2 formal nights, and a 5-day or less has, 5-day has 1, and the shorter ones don't even have one, do they?
I think the 4-day has one. I
Does
don't know about
4-day
the
have
3-day. We've not ever done a 3-day.
And normally there's one night, usually on a formal night, they have steak and lobster in the dining room.
And I know on Carnival you can order 2 entrees. Any more than that, you're going to be charged $5 extra. Well, it was 5. I guess it still is.
Yeah.
You can order appetizers. There's no limit, I don't guess.
Yeah, when you go in to eat, you can order 2 appetizers, 2 entrees, 2 desserts, at no charge. If you order more than 2, they charge you a little bit. But I mean, who in the world would eat more than? I know a lot of people on lobster night would order 5 or 6 of them.
There was some I've heard saying that I had 15 lobsters. Well, that's just too much.
Yeah, they finally put a limit on it. It's 2. After 2, you have to start paying a little money.
I think that's where I don't even get the lobster anymore.
I can take it or leave it. You can take it or leave it. So a lot of variables and probably questions about the cruising, and we'll keep talking about that. Never had steak and lobster together. We've done it mainly on the ships. Because, like I say, on formal night, they normally have steak and lobster. But they're not huge lobsters. They're kind of small. But it's okay. It's included, so we have it. Yep, we have it, and we enjoy it. All right. Any other cruise questions before I move to Pet of the Week? We'll do this again next Thursday. So between now and next Thursday, you have more questions.
Can you keep shellfish?
No, she said you can keep shellfish. You must not like them.
Oh.
Be thinking about your questions, and we'll make cruise news will be part of our cruise question and answer session will be part of our live for the next little while. Yeah, we got lots of time to work it out, but there again, like we said earlier, you almost have to start booking the cruise this far out. It's getting to where cruises fill up. So you have to start booking your cruise a pretty good ways out. So we can't spend too much time trying to figure out what we're going to do. We need to nail it down and go ahead and start booking. All right, she's got you on Facebook. Okay, I'm fixing to share Pet of the Week. And if you guys have not sent in a picture of your pet and want it to be, yes, go ahead and get your passport. That's an easy question to answer. Doesn't take that long, but go ahead and get it. If you want your pet to be Pet of the Week, y'all need to send me a picture of your pet. Tell me a little bit about your pet so I can share it with everybody. So here is Pet of the Week. And it's a funky little picture, but this is Sadie, Looks like Sadie is all tucked in the bed, looking at somebody like, turn the light out. I'm ready to go to sleep.
You don't have to worry about trying to get it expedited, Georgie. Just
Yeah, even not expediting, it usually comes in within 2 or 3 weeks.
yeah.
So you got plenty of time, but I would go ahead and do it. You can sail with just a birth certificate, but I don't like that. Go ahead and get your passport. You know, get what, 70, $80? What do they charge for them now? I don't even know.
About 130.
Is it 130? But then it's good for like 10 years. And once you do this first one, you're probably going to want to do some more. So go ahead and get your passport. Chris says that's a cute dog. Maybe y'all know whose dog this is. I don't know. I know whose dog it is.
You cheated.
How did I cheat?
You read it in the email.
Oh, yeah, I knew. Yeah, from the email. Yankee Bell says a cute dog. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, if you haven't sent in a picture of your pet, send it to the email on the screen, ForeverHuffsLiving@gmail.com, with a picture and a description, and maybe your pet will be pet of the week. I do them in the order they're sent to me. So if you've sent one and it hasn't shown up as pet of the week yet, just keep watching. We'll get to it. But we need more. We're running out. And it does not have to be a dog. We had a big furry rabbit on here as pet of the week. Was that the first one? Was that the first pet of the week?
So.
Was a rabbit?
I think so.
It was a rabbit from over in Belgium. I bet y'all know whose it was. So this is our son's dog. This is Sadie Bell. She's a good dog. She's a loving little dog. She's all up under us all the time. She wants to be touching somebody just about all the time. A very loving dog, sweet little dog.
As I'm washing dishes or cooking, she's laying behind me.
Yeah.
I go to turn around and trip.
Yeah. Well, she's a good one. I don't know what kind she is, just mixed up dog, but she's a good dog. So that's our pet of the week this week. Yep. I think Fluffy was our first pet of the week. If I remember right.
Yeah, I think so. Caught me.
They caught you yawning. All right. We've been on here for 2 hours. I really didn't expect to go for 2 hours, but we got to talking about all things cruising, and the time went by. All right, we're going to get off of this thing. Thank y'all for hanging with us for 2 hours. We appreciate y'all being here. We'll be back next Thursday. I might do the bird feeder a few times this week. I don't know. I'm just kind of cutting back on that. It's taking a lot of my time. No, we're going on vacation.
We're leaving Sunday or
We're
Monday.
leaving Sunday. We're taking our camper and we're going to a kind of like a water park type campground that we've been to before. It's been a few years.
I'm hoping to get some sun.
Yeah. So we're going to be taking the camper and going camping for a week. I'm not going to be able to do the bird feeder. I might can do it between now and Sunday. What's today? Thursday? I might do it in the morning. Anyway.
Is it Thursday already?
Yeah. But next week, we'll be doing our live on Thursday using a laptop, and we'll be in our camper. So y'all will get to see that. I don't think y'all seen our camper yet.
Unless I'm sunning.
We'll be in the camper next Thursday. So be sure to tune in and see us in vacation mode. Thank y'all for being here tonight. We love all y'all, and we hope to see y'all again Thursday. And there's Paul. Said he had fun. I try to jump in on all of y'all's lives, if not just for a few minutes, maybe. But if you don't see me, just know I'm busy. I'm outside doing something or whatever. But most times I try to catch everybody's for a few minutes, and I'll continue to do that. Thank y'all. Good night.